Welcome to That's Good Broncos. I am Brandon Perna, and this is the Broncos versus Patriots prediction episode. It's Patriots week here in Denver, Colorado. I'm not going to lie. After the Broncos couldn't score at least 13 points to tie the Titans, and the Patriots handled the Ravens, I do not feel good about this game. Nonetheless, I will continue to refer to the Patriots quarterback as FYTB, his true name, fuck you Tom Brady, and I will talk mad shit. Even though for the first time since Manning arrived in Denver, I am terrified this shit I talk will come right back to bite me in the ass. And then bite me in the face, and back on the ass, and say, you're covered in shit, man. That's good, Broncos. This episode is sponsored by CWHemp.com. Use my promo code, That's Good, for 10% off of your order of Charlotte's Web hemp oil. Why do you want hemp oil? Well, if you need to calm the fuck down but don't like pills or being stoned all the time, then try Charlotte's Web hemp oil to get you through the day. It can help you feel better, be a nicer person, and achieve your dreams of becoming an astronaut. So today, to honor FYTB, I will only use images of FYTB getting hit, looking sad, or looking like a dill hole. Usually I'm very professional and use images of all the players when I talk about them. Not today, not for the fuck you Tom Brady prediction episode. The Broncos do have home field advantage, and that's a big deal against the Patriots. So, half point here for the Broncos, and to help us this week is Chad Neat. And last year's #1 selling single in Littleton, Colorado, fuck you Tom Brady.
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Fuck you. Gary Kubiak versus Bill. The Dark Lord is back, and he remains the best coach in football. The Pats went 3-1 without fuck you Tom Brady, and mostly without Gronkowski. That is a direct reflection of the coaching staff. Belichick had a quote yesterday saying Kubiak, Phillips, DeCamillis, and the Broncos coaching staff run the same plays no matter where they coach. It's always the same. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but he's right. Aqib Talib today said preparing for the Patriots offense is like preparing for 5 different offenses. That's the difference between the Broncos coaching philosophy and the Patriots coaching philosophy. Well, that and player execution. The Patriots execute players who do not perform. Gary Kubiak's heart is full of too much love to not give guys who keep making mistakes 3rd and 4th chances. Half point here for the Lord of the Flies, Bill Belichick.
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Fuck you, Tom Brady and ball catchers versus Denver secondary. FYTB is playing as well as fuck you, Tom Brady has ever fucking played. Yes, my balls may have fallen off just saying those disgusting words. Part of the reason FYTB plays so fucking FYTB well is because his receivers are always goddamn open. FYTB has to make like 5 tough passes per game. The rest are these easy little throws to wide open guys. Even the short throws turn into big gains because the offense for the Patriots is always in the right fucking position. If players are not in the right position, they get killed in Belichick's kill room, which also happens to be Robert Kraft's snack room. Put the two together. The good news is the Denver secondary is the best in the NFL, and the Patriots' biggest Bronco killer, Rob Gronkowski, is on injured reserve. Martellus Bennett is a great replacement for Gronk, but I think Talib, TJ Ward, Justin Simmons, or whoever the hell ends up covering him can keep him contained. My biggest concern is Julian Edleman. He seems to always find a way to make plays, zigging and zagging, jigging and jagging, whatever the hell he does. But if Harris and Roby are on him, I'm confident this unit can keep the passing game limited. The Broncos secondary is a very close unit, as we saw last week during the Titans brawl. I believe they want to make a statement Sunday, and I will ride with them, giving the Denver secondary a 0.25 advantage against arguably the best fuck you Tom Brady fucking quarterback in the NFL. Why? Because this is my last hope. The secondary must save us.
Ooh, fuck you, Gronkowski, for making Tom Brady look so good.
Broncos front 7 versus Pats O-line and running dudes. Should really comb my hair before the episode starts. The biggest difference between this season and last season for the Patriots is that their offensive line is playing much better. The O-line isn't perfect, but it's much improved, and that's showing in the run game with LeGarrette Blount's league-leading 14 touchdowns, 1,029 rush yards, and the thank you cards he sends to fans every week. Fuck you, Tom Brady has only been sacked 12 times this season. The Pats are allowing 1.6 sacks per game, which makes them 7th best in the NFL. By comparison, the Broncos are allowing 2.8. A big reason for this is the improved play from tackles Nate Solder and Nick Cannon. Man, that guy is multi-talented. Martellus Bennett also is a great blocking tight end. In fact, he's just as good as Gronk in that department. With the ends being the strength on that line, it's going to be a lot harder for Von Miller and Derek Wolfe to wreak havoc in that backfield like they did last season. The biggest question here is, can the Broncos stop the run and cover the tight ends with Brandon Marshall still sidelined and Todd Davis being a question mark to play with an injury of his own? That puts a lot of pressure on Corey Nelson and Zaire Anderson to perform against a team that will relentlessly attack your weakness. If Denver was healthy, I'd maybe call this a wash, but they're not. And they are currently one of the worst defenses against the run in the NFL, so I have to give the Patriots a 0.5 advantage.
Nobody wants to say this, but Brady is a racist. That's why all his receivers are white. Gronk, white guy. Amendola, white guy. Hogan, white guy. Edleman, Brady, second white guy.
Special teams versus special teams. Last week, the Patriots' special teams nearly cost them the game against the Ravens. 2 turnovers on a punt and kick return led to 2 Ravens touchdowns, which means the Patriots special teams units will probably be fucking perfect this week out of fear of being castrated by the Sith Lord Chick and Robert Kraft serving their withered meat danglers as appetizers at Mark Wahlberg's next stupid dinner party. They also stole a page out of Justin Simmons' playbook and jumped the center to block a field goal. Brandon McManus and Stephen Gostkowski are 2 of the best kickers in the NFL, although Stefan has missed his fair share of extra points. This is pretty much a wash unless Riley Dixon gets another fake punt opportunity, which he probably won't. 0 points here. No good.
FYT Brady.
Also, I will be playing the game Fire Fan during the Broncos-Patriots game. Download the app, use my name Perna for the referral, select the Broncos versus Pats game, and play against me in the That's Good Sports League. It's free, and it's fun, and it's free. Pats front 7 versus Broncos O-line and running backs. The Patriots offense typically gets all of the attention. But let's be honest, the real reason this team is always good is because the Pats defense is never worse than a top 10 performer. Right now, the Patriots are second best in the league, allowing 17.7 points per game. That's the most important stat, is the point stat. Denver is close at 18.6, but against a struggling offense like the Broncos, this could be a big mismatch. The front 7 for the Pats is 6th best against the run. Their defensive line isn't particularly scary. In fact, it's rather average, but as a unit, they do their fucking job, as they say in New England, and I don't know how the Broncos can outperform them on the ground. Donta Hightower is great against the run and in coverage. Maybe the Broncos have success if Kyle Van Noy plays the way his name would suggest, like a Kyle Van Boy. That's the fucking best I can do. Last week, the Patriots rarely blitzed. Instead, they made it very hard for Joe Flacco to determine pre-snap which 4 guys would be rushing. I'd anticipate them doing something similar against a young quarterback like Simeon and an offensive line that already struggles determining who they should fucking block. I will say Justin Forsett looked like he could be a much more effective back for the Broncos. His biggest run was called back because of holding, and he fumbled on his first carry. But it looks like he understands where to go with the ball. I have to believe the Broncos will do better than 18 rushing yards this week. I think it's worth noting that the line did a pretty good job in pass protection against the Titans, and that this Patriots team is not a great pass rushing defense. Still give New England a 0.25 advantage because of how good they've been against the run. Because even aliens sing.
Fuck you, Tom Brady.
Trevor Siemian and ball catchers versus Patriots secondary. Trevor Siemian, his shoulder still isn't 100%. His foot isn't 100%, yet he is getting better. The game does not seem too big for him, and in those 2 losses, he's been victimized by different players dropping passes when he needed them the most. Last week, Devontae Booker left him out to dry twice with horrid pass protection. Vinny Fowler and Virgil Green had key drops in both losses. Former Patriot A.J. Derby was stripped on the final offensive play last week. I will bet the very little money I have, these guys play better on Sunday. Emmanuel Sanders, Demaryius Thomas had big games in Tennessee, but Thomas had the worst game of his career last year against the Patriots in the regular season when he had all of those drops. The Pat secondary is pretty good. Not great, but pretty good. Corner Malcolm Butler and safety Devin McCourty are excellent players in that secondary. Those are the 2 guys the Broncos will want to avoid. Patrick Chung had a great season last year, but isn't playing like he did in 2015, and that's why you'll see Duron Harmon out there more as a true safety, with Chung sort of filling in as a linebacker at times because I think they trust him more than their other backers on the roster. Let's be honest, the Denver Broncos receivers have all been very average this year. New England will gladly give them the short passing game, knowing their guys will make tackles. Someone in blue and orange has to be dynamic. There was success last week in terms of yards and catches for DT and Sanders, but they were playing against one of the worst secondaries in the NFL. I give New England a small 0.25 advantage, and it just kills me to do that.
Make plenty of shitty plays, so.
Look, the New England fuck you Tom Brady's have the point advantage. And they will probably win this game. They're one of the most complete teams in the NFL right now. My point system is very good, but I am not. And that's why I will still pick the Denver Broncos to win at least one more time this season, and it's because everything this weekend is on the line for the Broncos. Technically, Denver can lose this game, win the next 2, and still make the wild card round. But, in my opinion, if they lose this weekend, it means they don't have that intangible thing this year that they had last year to carry them to the promised land. Defensively, the Broncos can keep the Patriots offense at bay. That's a tough job no matter what, but the talent is there to do it. They can make Brady uncomfortable, and I believe even Justin Forsett can make an impact. But it all comes down to the unit that has played uninspired football for most of the season. The guys catching the balls. I want to see them play with the same fucking enthusiasm we see the defense play with every week. It's not just about making the catch either. It's time to break some goddamn tackles and turn some average passing plays into game changers. No more goddamn excuses. It's all on the line, and I've said fuck you Tom Brady enough times in this episode that if the Broncos lose, I will look like a real ass jerk. Broncos win 28-7. Thanks for watching another episode of That's Good Broncos. Make sure you subscribe here on the YouTubes. Follow me on Twitter at Brandon Perna. And please come play Fire Fan with me during the game. Download the app. Use my name Perna for the code. You make predictions before every series in the game. It's fun. And as always, make sure you give some love to the Mile High Report, the highest of all the Broncos blogging reports.